Hey gamer friends, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Josiah,
And
we are ready to roll. So recently, we received our very first review copy of a game. We just did that review. It was called Clash of Corgis, and it got us talking about what we were going to do if we received review copies, how we were going to handle that. And so we thought we would kind of bring you guys into our discussion about that, so you would know what our policy is on receiving review copies. Yeah. So here are some things that we came up with for our policy on receiving review games. First, we decided that we were going to be very honest with the developer, designer, whoever it is that contacts us about whether or not we think we might even like the game. And that way they know if it's something that's maybe not one that we typically like. Maybe they don't need to send it to us if they don't want to.
Right, like we thought of the example of like a war game, you know, because we don't really play a lot of war games, and so it's not that we wouldn't, but it's just that we would want the designer to know, hey, that's not something we typically enjoy playing, so, you know, kind of send it at your own risk, because we want to be honest in our review.
Absolutely. And if they wanted to still send it, then great, we'll play it and we'll give an honest review of it. So
that's actually one of the first things that we did is when we were contacted by the designer, I went straight to the game and read about it and tried to see if that looked like something that I thought we would enjoy. Because it's really hard to give a negative review when you've been given a game. That's not something that we want to do. It's hard to give a negative review even when you haven't been given a game.
Yeah, when we've bought it.
Yes. And so, because that's just not something that I enjoy doing. I genuinely like most games. I might not love most games, but I genuinely like most games. And I know that that's like, you know, that designer has spent so much time, and it, you know, it takes years to get a game published, and, you know, that's their baby, and I want it to, you know, I want to respect that if I can.
Absolutely. So. With that said, we will always give an honest review of a game. So we're not going to pull any punches, as it were, if we think a game is not good or it has things that we don't like. We're going to let you know about that.
Right. I definitely want us to be as honest as possible. I think that's a lot of concern with people when they start receiving review copies, is that people genuinely think like you can't possibly give a good review if you've received the game, or I mean, sorry, give a bad review if you've received the game. And I see where they're coming from.
Sure.
But I want us to be able to do those things as best as we can.
Yeah. We've seen people comment about bias when you've received a review game, sort of in that same vein, and we all have biases. Everyone. You look at a game in the store, just judging by the art and maybe what it says, you've created your own bias either for it or against it, right? So it's like everybody has their own biases, but you don't have to be ruled by your biases. Right.
You can try and set those aside. You can recognize that that's what that is and try your best to set it aside and do what you can do.
Yeah. Another policy point that we wanted to make is that we will always let you guys know when we receive a review copy, when we're reviewing a game, if it's a review copy of a game.
Yeah, that was something that we had discussed. Like, we want to make sure that we tell everybody, because we want you to be able to know the difference. And then you can decide what you want to do with that information.
Just transparency and honesty with our community here.
Exactly. Yeah, so in all that, we're going to do our best to give you our honest opinions every single time. And I mean, even though I said before I don't like to give bad reviews, if we don't like something, I want to be honest about that and say that, because I don't want to waste your time or your money.
That's right.
I've heard of people talk about like how their opinions of content creators change once they know they're receiving review copies. And of course that is your, you know, your opinion, your prerogative, whatever. You can decide to do that. But I personally, I don't have that issue when I listen to or watch content creators. I think most people are trying to do their best with giving an honest review of things. Like I said, you can't get rid of all bias, but I think most people generally try and do that.
I personally don't understand
like judging a content creator based on that,
Mm-hmm.
unless I saw something blatant.
That's
you know,
true. That's
I mean,
true.
but like you said, I think most people are trying to do their best and
Mm-hmm.
be honest and authentic and transparent. And so in that case, I'm just going to give them a lot of grace. Like I
Right,
think
exactly.
I think that it doesn't change anything for me watching this content creator if I know they're getting a review copy of a game.
Right.
And so I would hope that people would also do the same for us. Now, it's not like we're receiving tons of review copies of
No.
games. We've only gotten the one so
Yeah,
far.
we're really small.
Yeah.
We're just a
We're
drop in the bucket.
tiny fish
Yes.
in a big pond here.
Yes.
So.
But it is good to have all these things in place because you
Yeah.
never know. And if we did get bigger and we started getting more, we need to have all of this stuff in place. And we were contacted, and that was really exciting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we thought it was nice for us because we thought, okay, now we've made it to another step, another
Right.
level as a content creators.
Right.
And so it was really exciting for us. Again, it doesn't change how we're going to operate as content creators just because we received a free copy of a game. But yeah, we were excited about it and we wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah. And I'm really interested, like, this would be an interesting discussion for people that are in our community to come on and kind of give their opinions of it. I really am
Yeah.
interested in your opinions.
100%.
See, like, what you think about that. Is there anything that you would want to see or not want to see based on that information? I'm interested in that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know what you think because we do read your comments and we would love to know how you feel about us getting a free game and reviewing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have heard, I can't remember who it was. I think it was on a podcast, a gaming podcast, and they talked about how they specifically don't accept review copies of games because they were concerned about their own ability toward bias.
Yeah.
And so they were like, we just decided as a podcast, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really commendable too,
I
because
respect
I
that.
feel like if you feel like, I don't know if I can do that really well, and I don't want to jeopardize what I have here. So I totally get that.
Yeah, I do too. But I also think game designers, yes, they want to get their name out there, their game
Sure.
out there. They want publicity, right? But they also, I think, want to have honest feedback.
For sure. I think
Right?
so. I would hope so.
because then it helps them in making future games,
Mhm.
you know, or making the game that they've sent us better, you know, or
Right.
you know, or something to that effect. You know, if they get maybe consistent feedback across multiple content creators, you know, and so we want to do our part for the community, making it better, and we feel like this is something that we can do to do that.
Yeah, I agree. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
And we will see you in the comments.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.